American Indians, Indigenous Peoples Truths, Justice for All, the most dangerous show on media anywhere. OCO and greetings, everybody. I am so happy to be here with all of you good people that view us, and especially my guest tonight, and my producer, Leslie Fry.
Alito.
All right. Alito, would you please give us the land acknowledgement?
Of course. Let's pause for a moment to acknowledge the traditional stewards of the lands that we reside on, and especially their ancestors, descendants, and all indigenous people who live now and have ever lived on this land we call Turtle Island.
Thank you so much. I know we have a very exciting show tonight because I have 4 of the great people that I met last week in Albuquerque, New Mexico, at the Latino Farmers and Ranchers Association's yearly meeting.
And we have to say something. Congratulations are in order. You were elected to the board.
Yes, I was.
Congratulations. Congratulations. It's about time.
I am so honored to be a part of that organization. And we're looking forward to some real good things. We're looking forward to having so many young people involved. And that says a lot for me because, you know, us old folks, we're not going to be here forever. And somebody's got to be prepared to take our place.
Absolutely.
And I'm so honored to have these guests with us tonight. And they're just a drop in the bucket of all the young people that we met in Albuquerque.
Well, before we get into having our guests in, we are celebrating what we call Indigenous Heritage Month or Native American Heritage Month this month, and which lasts through the whole month of November. So we want you to plug into any type of events that you may have within your area, your work-related events, and learn a little bit more about our culture and indigeneity. We are, in my other life, I have a job working for a major tech company, and we are pretty much plugged in this month for all kinds of activities. So I'm very excited during this month. It's, being Indigenous is every day of the year.
Yeah.
But for this is our month, so we definitely need to celebrate it and to educate people during this month.
Of course.
So, and with that being said, we have a new series on this show, a human interest series that I definitely think that we need to get into. Since we don't do the news anymore, I've been searching the web for like human interest stories that I think that you might want to be interested in and make a comment about. So let's start our series this evening with a brief clip of what I wanted to show you. We'll talk about it and then we'll bring in our guests.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Uh-oh, where is it? Well, I guess I don't have the intro. I guess it didn't get to upload yet, but we're going to go ahead and get get to talking about what we need to talk about. Actually, it's coming up right now. My apologies. I'm always working up until the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
But I was very in particular interested in this story, and I thought that you would definitely have something to say about it. So here we go.
Well, this is where a gentleman named Q lives. I spoke to him. He's quite happy to be here, but says he's planning to move soon. So this situation in 2022 in Los Angeles, you can basically build your own small wooden house right on Hollywood Boulevard, live in it, continue to refuse offers of city services, and most people around here are okay with it. Others say it has to go. It's a solid, well-built wooden structure propped up by metal carts and car batteries. A power cord unplugged trails down the sidewalk, which is piled high with assorted power tools and electronics. Reaction? Mixed. What do you think of that?
I don't like it. It's not good. It's bad.
It is a little out there, but he is safe and he doesn't have to worry about someone burning his tent down.
I don't even know like why or how, or I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy to say the least.
Is this okay?
It's not okay that it's gotten to this point. The fact that he's here, I don't see an issue with it.
Anybody home? After I called the city and the LAPD to see what, if anything, is being done to help or clean up, police did come and talk to the man. They've been here before. They described him as young, healthy. They offered to connect him with services. He declined. They left. Summing up the municipal code, the only enforcement is if a person is blocking the sidewalk or an active driveway or business. City Councilman Mitch O'Farrell says he hopes this can be resolved with what are called Care Plus teams, which pair comprehensive outreach with sanitation and cleaning services needed to make the public right-of-way safe and accessible. Meantime, across the street, where Jamila Ali and Ranch Shaw run City Vibes Coffee, compassion is still on the menu.
He hasn't like bothered anyone, and honestly, I'm glad that it's right there because I honestly feel safer with him there. For some reason, I don't know why. It's just it feels like he's like he knows what he's doing and he's not here to like hurt anyone.
Unfortunately, they have to make us a little bit uncomfortable for them to be comfortable, and I think that's just like the problem in LA. No one realizes how much of a burden it can do to like our mentality and just the way we carry ourselves.
Q tells me he's from Kansas City. He's been in LA for about 3 years, been here for a few months. He says he's self-employed. He fixes bikes. He wants to be a mechanical engineer, and that he is an Army veteran. Saturday, Alex and Marla, the city tells me they're planning to clean this all up as part of this Care Plus program that's had great success here in Hollywood. If you've been to the underpass and Gower on the 101 freeway, all cleaned up. So it's going to be interesting to see what, if anything, happens to this man. As I mentioned, he's perfectly happy being here, and most of the people around here are happy to have him. Live in Hollywood, I'm Phil Schumann.
You know, that first up, how is he not blocking the sidewalk? And secondly, you know, is it, you know, it looks like a structure there. And these are, the business owners there have to spend a lot of money in taxes, have to go through permitting processes. Everybody around there that lives there have to pay property taxes. Yeah. Does he pay any property taxes?
Q, we're on live on Fox 11. Alex, so nobody's saying this is a great night with us. What are you doing here, and how did this come to be?
Well, I was originally in a tent, and when the sanitation comes, you know, once every 2 weeks, they have you take the tent down and clear all your stuff out. Yeah. And so what I had an idea just to build something on wheels so that way I wouldn't have to.
Show us what you got here.
Well,
I mean, where did you get all the material and everything?
Well, I got most of the material from like construction sites that threw away old wood, and then some friends of mine that had some wood left over, and then there was a shop across the street that had some old flooring.
You have electricity in there?
Yeah, I've got a generator over here.
So you've been offered housing, temporary housing from the city and other agencies,
right?
But you prefer this, or?
Well, I kind of do prefer this because it kind of gives me empowerment. A lot of the housing, a lot of the housing programs they offer, they put you in like what seems like a concentration camp. And
so this is freedom for you.
Yes, it's for more freedom.
You got plants.
Yeah.
You got tapestry.
Yeah, I feel like I have more of a way to express my, artist nature and everything.
But Q, I mean, you have to understand that a lot of people don't think this belongs here. I mean, this is a public street.
Yeah.
There are better options for you.
Yeah. There's probably a better places, than this. But I mean, I don't think that I'm bothering anyone here. This business isn't even in,
Yeah, it's an empty building.
So is he taking the power from the city?
I try to keep
because he doesn't get a power bill
clean, and I sell bikes and I make motorbikes and electric scooters and stuff like that. I've fixed several people that live in the neighborhood. I fixed their scooters and stuff like that. So
are you happy?
Yeah, I feel good, man. I feel good. I feel like I'm, kind of being an example for people that's in my situation, letting them know that, just because you are living on the streets doesn't mean that you have to just let go, give everything up.
Where do you get food and use the bathroom and stuff?
Well, I go to local stores and, while I'm out.
Let's walk this way,
Hey, Phil.
While I'm out and,
I'm listening.
While I'm out and about, I use the restroom at different stores and stuff like that. But
go ahead, Marla.
I'm just curious about he has the generator and the power cord that you showed. He doesn't get a bill, so is he just milking it from the city?
I sell bikes and.
Yeah, no, he's not. No, he's not connected to the city. No, this is a generator with. Can we peek inside or no?
Okay.
I'd rather not, man. Yeah, because I don't have it cleaned up, and then it's not finished.
So people around here seem to like you.
Yeah.
You're a super friendly guy.
Yeah.
But there's other people that are watching this saying this is ridiculous.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know, where they're coming from, or why they believe what they believe. But there was a fire around the corner right here. One of the guys' tents caught on fire, and so that probably puts a nasty stain on it.
All right. Well, thank you for talking with us and sharing some of your story. Go ahead, Marla.
Phil, my last question is: you said he was going to move soon. So does he literally roll it somewhere else? Where is he moving to?
Yeah, you were talking about moving and just like rolling this down the sidewalk? Or?
Yeah, I've got some dollies I'm going to put underneath and move it from out in front of the fence. I got to have this thing moved by tomorrow, or the police said they're going to take me to jail. So I got to move. So that's why all my stuff's outside right now.
So if an agency came to you and said, Q, we got an apartment for you in Hollywood, indoors, services, job training, health benefits, would you take it?
Well, I want to start my own business, but as far as the apartment situation, I don't know where I'm gonna be able to store all my stuff, and then I do a lot of grinding and welding and stuff like that. So I mean, I don't know, maybe that's not the best
solution for you.
Yeah, because my generators and my, I kind of like that lifestyle anyway.
All right.
So I really wanted to talk about this. I mean, this little piece is very interesting, but the one main thing that he said in here is that he is an Army veteran. And he did not wish to go into some kind of housing because he wanted to create his own atmosphere where he fixes his bikes and he does everything. He wanted to be sustainable. He didn't want to have to be forced to do any type of training. He's already making a little bit of money. And what I want you to notice here is the fact that the gentleman who was interviewing him, the reporter that was interviewing him, obviously had some compassion for him. But if you understand what was going on behind the news desk, they were more concerned about the fact that he was taking from the city, not paying bills, not doing anything. So I just want to ask your opinion about this particular gentleman and this piece.
First of all, I know the city councilman. He's a friend of mine for many years, Mitch O'Farrell. And Mitch is a people's person. So nobody should blame him for any of this. The man served in the military. and he served honorably. This whole thing is so backwards. And I really like this young man for standing up for his rights. There's, you got people on both sides of the fence. You got people that follow the U.S. Constitution, which is a piece of crap, in my opinion. The Europeans came across the Atlantic Ocean. They invaded us. They stepped into our pristine waters and bountiful homelands and began immediately taking from us, stealing our land, committing genocidal practices against the people that were already here. So if anybody has a right in this situation to do what he wants to do, it's him. He's not hurting anybody. He's not taking any money from the government. He's not inconveniencing anyone except those that think that they're so daggone privileged that they just don't want him there.
Well, that's the thing too. The thing is that the gentleman served our country, and he should be allowed to live as comfortably as he would like. I think that he's extremely resourceful in the sense that he built his own structure, because obviously what people don't know is what happens to the homeless people when the garbage trucks come in or when the police move them from one location to the next. And the fact that it is extremely unsafe for them to live in tent capacity. So I want to follow his story. We will try to get back and see what ends up happening with this gentleman. But it's a very interesting story because of what he built. The structure that he built was outstanding. That's all I'm going to say. Look, if I could get up and move my house with wheels, I would do that.
But speaking from veterans, I've known quite a few homeless veterans, including a nephew that was living in a tent in a park, and he had gone to Afghanistan. He was a Green Beret.
Yeah.
So how can this country turn their back on these men and women that served honorably, that took one step forward, raised your right hand, and vowed to protect the U.S. Constitution and the citizens of the United States?
Yeah.
How in the hell can they do that? It's just wrong.
It is wrong. Well, we don't have a very good means of taking care of our community when it comes to our elderly and such like things like that. But with that being said, let's go ahead because we want to bring in our guest. Thank you so much for commenting on that. And we're going to do more of that. And hopefully I can actually go and follow up on this gentleman and give you all an update. All right, let's get into our next session with our guest. And I'm really excited about that. Just do a little bit of advertising and let's bring them in.
Absolutely.
Well, that's not going to work either. So let's just go ahead and bring them in. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hey. Hi.
Hello. Where's Mark? Okay, Mark. We'll catch up with you when you catch up with us. There he is. Hey, nephew, how you doing?
So can everybody introduce yourselves, and then can you give us a quick rundown, Jay, about these wonderful, and let's get to talking about what they do.
Okay, let me start first with Alexa. Alexa, I was honored to meet you in Albuquerque. Albuquerque this week past. Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what do you do?
So right now I am the Chief Development Officer for Western Fiber, and we are trying to do initiatives for sustainable building using carbon negative housing. And actually we are trying to have a solution that has to do with the video that we just saw, the news article, providing emergency housing as well. And it will provide emergency housing for veterans, for homeless, for people that are in need of it. So that's my hemp building side, but I also own a dispensary in Oklahoma City where we are conducting medical research with Dr. Harman Chopra out of Johns Hopkins to
Mhm.
also help veterans with the opioid crisis by using CBD and cannabinoids for
Okay.
pain instead of having opioids.
Okay, thank you so much. Now let me go to the other lady because you all know that it's always ladies first. AYIA?
Yes, so I'm AYIA LINDQUIST. I go by the title of Land Steward because I wear so many hats. I'm project manager, farmer, executive director. I do a lot of different things, but they all come back to the same root of just being a better steward of the planet, along with protecting medicine and protecting people and protecting our environmental rights. Short and sweet. That's what I got.
And you're one of my fellow countrywomen, Borican, right?
Yes, Boricua. But I was actually born on St. Croix, but my grandpa's from Puerto Rico.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go to Mark GRIGNON, my nephew. How you doing?
Hey, Boso, Kispiso, Makik, Kanit, Akayan, Mishik, Nuiswan, Marcus Greeno. Hello, everyone. My people know me as Kispiso, Makik, or Swift Otter, and was named Marcus Greeno by my parents. I'm the executive director of a nonprofit organization, Hempstead Project Heart, which is dedicated to redevelop thriving hemp economies that connect tribal, urban, and rural communities throughout the United States. And I'm a hemp farmer, Native American rights activist, and a community organizer in my spare time.
Okay. And it was so good to see you there, nephew. Now here comes the next guy, Matt Byrne. Hey, Matt, how you doing, bro?
Doing good. How are you, sir?
Fine. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
I'm Matt Byrne. I'm the Operations and Communications Director at Western Fiber. In Crayon, that's the concierge. I help everyone get everywhere. We have a big machine that we're bringing online, as Alexa mentioned. We're rolling out a program that circles and centers around farm-oriented development, just what this gentleman was describing, being able to go weld and continue to build this business. So providing a true home, not just a short-term solution. So looking forward to getting into the conversation.
Good. So let me start off with this question. Any of you all over 35? Oh, you're the old guy. How old are you?
41.
Oh, you're just a baby.
Yeah, I'll hang around you more.
Yeah, no. Well, you know what? I was so impressed to see so many young people at the Congresso this past week. And that does my heart good.
Oh, of all ages, young people.
Yeah.
We had some middle school,
elementary school children, middle school, high school. And they were asking questions that you would expect a college professor to ask. And their minds were so involved with what they did, everything from climate control and dealing with pesticides and the proper things to do in growing green stuff. So, Alexis, what is your take on the whole hemp industry and where you all are trying to take it?
My take on it is that there is a unfair stigma towards the entire plant just because of drug initiations that people have, that marijuana is still scheduled as a drug in our society right now. And anytime I've brought up what we're doing with Western Fiber, it's considered, oh, you're building a house of drugs. It's like, no, we're building a sustainable house that won't burn down, that's climate resilient, and it's going to help our climate crisis in the world right now. And that's what we're trying to do. And hopefully we can actually build that up and get it going.
And by using the end products of hemp, the stalks and stuff like that you don't use in drywall, cement, it's automatically an insulant for houses, right? It insulate houses naturally, right?
It is an insulator and also soundproofing too. So you can use it for soundproofing and all the other good qualities that you can think of.
Yeah.
And it's non-toxic, so you don't have any of those cancer-causing materials that comes with the regular insulation that people have in their houses right now.
Yeah, exactly. The fiberglass stuff.
Yeah.
AYIA, your take on it?
Can you repeat the question again?
No. We're talking about hemp. Excuse me. We're talking about your experience at the Congreso.
Yes.
Okay.
So I really enjoyed the Congreso, and I think one of my favorite parts of the Congreso was actually meeting the people on this call right now, and a few other people too. I felt like the connections that we all made and the amount of like-minded people that we were surrounded by were, I think it was really powerful. At least that was my takeaway from it. And I will also add with, my experience working with hemp, working with CBD primarily, and at just different dispensaries. I really hope that the future of hemp and cannabis is more intersectional, and that's what I like to elevate in this work too. I'm glad to see Alexa as a woman in cannabis, as a woman in hemp, working towards this as well.
Yeah, and if these fools that have put this bad stigma on it would just step aside and look at it for what it really is and not what they wanted to create it to be. I think that hemp has a long way to go, and it could go a long way in improving humanity, society, and everything else. What do you think, Matt?
I think it's closer than we all can relate to. The biggest piece was we're putting it inside the houses in volume. So if I get to answer the same question that Alexa did, I would continue the point just by saying where the hemp industry is now. The thing that we're bringing online, we're putting roughly 6,000 pounds of ag waste material, hemp in it as well, inside each home. And it is very insulative. It's something that's where we continue the story of farm-oriented development, that we're bringing simple machines to the farm that farmers can learn how to use rather quickly if they're not already familiar with the workings of them. That it's really the shift in power that we've been working so hard, so many in the hemp industry to get to, is consuming a lot of stock, a lot of waste products to make room and alleviate for some of the tinctures and the flowers, that we don't have to put so much stress on the revenue on those products.
Great. Mark, what do you think?
I think when it comes to hemp, I think I look at it from a policy side, since that's kind of where I've been at for a while now. And I think when it comes to hemp, we've like opened the door a little bit. We need to open the door a little bit more and really push for the potential of what this plant can really do for humanity. I think on the last show, your radio show this past weekend, there was a lot of discussions about making sure the farmer is protected and they don't lose out on everything. I think that happened a lot in the beginning of the hemp industry, and I'm hoping that this next stage of the hemp industry, where we're looking at fiber and grain, there's more protections involved for the farmer. I think that's something that a lot of people talked about at the Congreso as well, is that we want to make sure that there are markets there for us, and not only that, ensure that there's no monopolistic tendencies that are going on in the industry. So it was really heartwarming to understand that there's a lot of people in America that were at the Congreso who were basically saying, we all got to work together and ensure that, this industry, lives for the next 7 generations. I think that's my takeaway from it all.
Mark, are you driving?
No, Jay, I'm not driving.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Sure you can.
My question is, why is it so difficult for us here in America to accept anything that's sustainable or green, as opposed to other countries like Norway, Amsterdam, places like that? What is the roadblock here?
Capitalism.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that it's definitely the big boys that run the banks and things like that. I mean, that's one of the reasons that the cannabis world can't go forward too. There's too many outer liars that are blocking us, especially big pharma and petroleum, plastics and whatnot. If we actually embraced hemp and certain sustainable aspects of what we already have, what God already puts on this planet that we can use, we'd be able to go forward. But since there's too many pockets that are being lined by the things that hurt the earth, that's what's stopping us.
You're absolutely right. And politicians are a big part of that as well, because I've never seen, I've seen it all my life. You vote for these politicians, they get elected, and they think they're supposed to get paid forever.
Well, that's the thing, though. The thing is that anything that would promote a healthier atmosphere or healthier world, it doesn't line the pockets of these individuals, like the big business that has been taking natural resources such as coal, things that are damaging our earth. You know, they're not going to, it'll be a while before we see us progressing in that way. In the meantime, they don't care that they're leaving a damaged world to children or anything like that. I mean, I applaud you all for looking at something that is different and out of the box. I think what happens is we as a consumer must have that mindset to overpower what politicians do. So if consumers have more of a mindset that they want to go green, do things that are sustainable, natural, things that would be broken down in the environment naturally, then that can change a whole dynamic. But I will tell you this, the politician will figure out how he can make money off of that too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm just looking at all of the things that they represent. And none of that stuff is good for humanity. Plastics, why? You know what I'm saying? When we were on the Red Road before we were invaded, we never had any desire to use anything negative in our environments that would hurt us or our children. That's a fact.
Well, that's also the connection that we as indigenous people had to the land. And I think that there is, unfortunately, that's something that a colonistic mindset doesn't understand. I think that if we can get back to one, knowing that we have to heal the land, one, and then sustain the stuff off the land and the land will sustain us, the mindset of the general public is what's probably going to change politics.
Yeah. And these midterms that are coming up are very, very important. And folks, don't get your mind stretched out of shape. If you know that a politician is dirty and crooked, just don't vote for him. Vote for the person that's running against him or her. Matt, I know you got something to say. You go right ahead.
Well, I would like to speak to the point that she was speaking about there a little further, just from my point of view, that we look at it in a way of, as you said, indigenous to the land and how pure the land was to begin with. And here we are, having plastics around us. So, getting back to organic, there's that transition to organic. And a concept we'd like to bring to the light is teaching the farm to be its own biggest customer. And that's really something when you can use your waste as a revenue stream, what it really does. So that transition to organic is something that I think we can focus on, of how can the farm start doing practices now, using their waste and reallocating it to better serve the farm. And in the instance we were talking about earlier, being able to build their own building. We have ag extension offices in Oklahoma that you can go as a farmer and be able to check out a disc or rent a disc or a plow or a seeder if you were to need one. If we were to unit, farmer innovation always comes from the farm. The first idea we had was just stick it in a house. Hand this tool to a farmer and watch what they do. Hand it to Q. Look what he built out of trash. That I love that. But that's when you can manufacture out of the trash. That's what you can see it do. And we're not even talking about the benefits of having a carbon neutral house that is not killing you when you walk in. So a real home. That's just the start. but it's a way to consume a lot of the ag waste that they're putting another just tightening up the noose on the farmers of America with now rolling out, penalties for their ag waste and the carbon that they're letting off. So it's now is more the time more than ever to be able to shift that over to being a useful item instead of being taxed yet again on another thing coming off the farm, being able to replace all of those materials that we spoke of in ancient practices with just a touch of technology, and that's the transition to organic, or more of a hybrid organic, when we can use simple modern day equipment with age-old practices. We've talked about Adobe at the Congresso that makes blocks right on the farm. That's where we all started. In Oklahoma, there are a lot of sod houses that add a little bit of technology and bring it into the 21st century, and look what we can make. So that transition, or a hybrid farm, is something that we really, I think, need to take a look at, being able to make the farm its own customer.
And we need to be bold about looking at it. And if it works, don't worry about what the government says. If it works and it's environmentally safe, and if it's good, just do it. You know, I see this one lady, she said that tomorrow, I think it was her name, Anasa, they're going to be putting fiberglass in her new house. That's crazy. That's crazy. Fiberglass insulation is going into my home tomorrow. Never heard of hemp being used for insulation. That's because they don't want you to know about it, sis.
No.
I think also you probably would have to find someone who actually insulates with hemp. You know, you have to go and locate somebody who does that, because the normal contractor will use fiberglass.
Yeah, because it's cheap and easy to get.
At one time, with Western Fiber being a cellulose manufacturer, speaking of going against the man, at one time, Western Fiber was in 28 states, had over 42 distributors, applicators that we were just mentioning that we would need, a little over 3,000 Habitat for Humanity projects with just our base cellulose insulation. And then you talk about the fiberglass guys, and here we are, ran out of business. They show up and they offer your competitors insulation for free, for next to nothing, and that's hard to stay in business. And as 2008 through 2016, we've pulled back in 4 states, regrouping now, and this is our bringing it back online. Instead of fighting up the mountain and trying to fight them, we have plenty of people working at the Capitol. But we're more or less, our whole goal is to get to the Green Valley on the other side. So we're just going to go around the mountain, work with the farmers, build everything we want in the valley. And by the time that they catch up, too many farmers have been trained to use simple practices with new technology that there's a fire they're going to have trouble putting out. And that's where education is in, that when a farmer can train a farmer over the fence, and not need Wall Street, not need us any longer. That's our end goal, is to put a knowledge that's back out there. As you mentioned, they don't want you to find it. So thank you again for allowing us to expose that it's there, it's real, and it's not $1 million like Wall Street's going to tell you to come online to build your house. Just ask Q.
Yeah, I know. So what I want to say right now, I want to take a moment out to those of you that are watching this broadcast. Please like the broadcast and subscribe, and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Jay Winter Nightwolf Productions, Cliff Dive Productions. We really need to build our viewing public so that we can stay here and continue to do good stuff. Okay. Anybody else got something they want to talk about tonight while we're here? AYIA?
I would like to say something.
Mm-hmm.
What programs like these actually introduce people to the ideology of using hemp as a sustainable product for the environment? Honestly, before today, I never even knew that was a practice. What are you all doing as far as publicizing this? It seems that since this is an organic method, a word of mouth method, Do you all often spend advertisement wise a lot of money to advertise this as another option besides using fiberglass and other things like that? What are you doing in order to get that information out there to the general public?
Well, we're actually here. This is our coming out party.
All right.
Hemp insulation just passed in the U.S. building code, so it gives us very valid reason to come online. Supply is always an issue. So one thing is we're helping educate, remembering that Western Fiber is a 30-year cellulose insulation and manufacturer. Fiber is fiber, and herd is herd in a lot of applications, and hemp can help this insulation go a very long way. Again, getting back to indigenous practices, using simple binders and minerals that are natural from the earth will then make it fireproof. So just that, it's really setting it up for hemp to take its stand. And now this is it. We will be launching before Christmas. You'll be able to see House 1. House 0 is completed. All concepts are passed. We like to say that we're building above code. There's not a code for this material. When you can put it in your wall, you can build your house, and it's safe, it's healthy, it's carbon neutral, or carbon negative. You can push a lot of biochar and into it, and now it's a top level home that of the highest quality. I'm excited to live in one.
Can you do me a favor, Matt? Can you give us how people can, do you have a website, how people can find out about this?
We do. We have a website at westernfibers with an s.com. You can find us there, and there's at info, join our newsletter. You are the very first that we've come out and spoke about it and let people know that it's coming online. And that has a huge part to do with the National Latino Farmers and Ranchers Association. This has been a very long journey. I'm blessed to work with the gentleman that I work with, but this journey's been 42 years for them to continue this fight, to continue to give people what they deserve. No one's asking for handouts. They're just asking for what they deserve and their space to do it in. And this can really turn the tables. So we're excited about the partnership. We are set up in Huron, California, with our first 33 lots and working with the mayor there to provide housing and be our launch pad. So we're open to all states. We're looking, of course, we'll be here in Oklahoma and Florida through the first quarter of next year, really setting up to be able to help supply.
Yeah, so I see also a comment right now that somebody asked if it is fire rated as well. Our insulation actually will not burn, and you cannot set it on fire. So it is definitely fireproof.
Yeah, that's where we get it. Oh, there's not a test that's figured this one out yet. We have several universities lined up to help us and put their stamp, because it does beat all the, whether they like to say, the minimum building requirements, and that's how you get toxic things in your houses when you build the minimum standards. We're looking for only the best.
Okay, Mark, I know you got something to say.
Well, I did when I asked Mark this too. For anybody that is interested in getting involved in hemp production, hemp growing, Mark, I'm sure you can address this because this is what you do. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So, kind of to answer the first question before that Matt was asking, is basically a lot of the stuff I do is I provide a lot of earned media segments. So articles, talk to people. We do a lot of Facebook advertising too, a little bit when they don't shut us down, because usually like any social media posts and you throw a little money behind, you don't really get much traction because they think it's a drug that you're promoting. So whenever we have an opportunity to do that, that works really well. In terms of how we move forward, when we push people to talk about hemp and actually get involved with hemp, it really comes down to of like, this happens a lot with Indian countries. Like, it's a show me type of event, to where you're actually showing people like, oh, you want to know that it's fire resistant? Like, let's hit this thing with a blowtorch and see how long it goes. And what's really interesting about it is when you actually hit hempcrete with a blowtorch, obviously it's hot where it's being hit with the blowtorch, but on the back of it, it's cool. Like it's just cold. Like you don't really
Mm-hmm.
don't feel the heat, don't feel anything at all that's being hit. So I think that's something that's really interesting as well. And I think what it comes down to is really the more people that are building houses with hemp, or even just doing renovations, like a bathroom renovation where it's mold resistant, works. If you have mice coming into your house and you want to plug up the certain area, plug it up with hempcrete, because they're not going to get through with that. It's rodent resistant as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the more show me opportunities we have with hemp, the better it's going to be, because right now we're dealing with the reefer madness people. We're dealing with the people who think it's a drug. We're dealing with the Nancy Reaganites, and the Just Say No campaign people. Like that like Reagan's gone, Nancy's gone, but like their policies, their philosophy is still very prevalent, not only in the federal government, but in society as well. And I think that's something that we have to really break down the barriers of, because until we get to that point, people are going to continually use this as a we're using an illicit substance, but really it's like illicit substance with over 20,000 different uses.
Try smoking hemp.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't forget that a lot of our country mold and mildew resistant.
Yeah.
Problem that so many, as we talk about the emergency shelter that they put them in. The first time it rains, they're filled up with mold and mildew.
Right.
Environment. So it just continues. The cut sheet on a hemp house is unbelievable, second to none. It's the application of using it. So yeah, we're going to be building demos and getting them out across the country as fast as we can. So
Leslie, are we out of time already?
Well, we are getting there. We've got about 3 minutes, but I want to actually give you all an opportunity to just to promote this a little bit more and to give us your social media. And then after this event, please give me your social media so I can put it in post.
Okay, so let's start with you, Matt.
Social media, we're on Facebook and Instagram. Find us on our website, or both Facebook or Instagram, and reach out. We love to talk about hemp and building with it, the other 9,999 uses of it.
Thank you, Matt, for being on with us tonight.
Thank you so much.
Alexa.
Yeah, so same thing as Matt just said, Facebook and Instagram, we're on it. We haven't really been too active on there, but on our site that Jay shared on here, westernfibers.com, you have Matt and I's contact information of how to get in contact with us. So it's the emails there. Also, develop@westernfibers.com is a way to get in contact with me, and our phone numbers are on there as well.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, I know AYIA. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I know. I knew you were talking about me. So you can find me at AYIA on Instagram, and that's one of the best ways to keep in contact with me. Learn about land stewardship, learn about intersectionality in this movement. That's the best way to contact.
Okay, well, spell that out for me. AYIA.
AYIA. So my first name and then just YAYA.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
All right, Mark, now it's on you.
Well, you can reach us on social media, Facebook at Hempstead PH. Instagram is HPH_Rojas. And our website is hempsteadprojectheart.org. And the phone number gets you a direct line to me if you want to talk one-on-one.
Sounds good. Thank you to all of you. I am so filled with happiness tonight to have an opportunity to talk to so many young people that have their minds on the red road. So Leslie, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And I just want to tell the audience members that we will definitely be putting in everything in post. So, you all who have my Cliff Dive email address, please send that information for me so that I can make sure that we have everybody being able to be connected. You will be hearing from me as well, because I'm very interested in this.
Absolutely. So I'll say to all of you in Cherokee, Dana da, go AYIA, do. Talk to you next week. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us,
Bye.
guests. And please stay in the broadcast briefly if you can before we leave. All right. Take care.